Two-part question. First one's for Aliyah. Would it be safe to say that you found your groove because your face-off game's been on point? It seems like you've been more aggressive probably since like last 2 weeks. You shoot about 16, 17 attempts.
Require so much attention on pin downs, on screens, making sure that I'm available for them. And I think, once again, they do a great job of getting me the ball. And for me, it's about just taking every shot with confidence because we've been working on it.
Dang, you ain't seen her before? Dang.
But I mean, I think for me, it's just playing off of my teammates. When you have guards like we do that.
Aliyah Boston had enough. No Caitlin Clark, no national spotlight, no ESPN primetime fanfare. Just 40 minutes of bruising basketball, a hostile road crowd, and a Dallas Wings team that smelled blood. And when the final buzzer finally sounded, the Indiana Fever had barely escaped with a win that didn't feel like one, and Boston, she let it rip.
This is a question for players and coach. There were a lot of Fever fans today at the game. What does it mean to you to just have their presence with you wherever you go?
And so I think that's the way you look at it, right? You've had this arena that's filled, and people are coming in, they're like, whoa, I like her, she's tough. And so I think it's just great for the game.
Likewise, I take pride in wanting to see people I've never seen before. So when you see different players that you admire,
every game is a home game. I think you see that. People show up, they show out. I think it's great for this league, just people continuing to come to games and watch, because I think when people show up to watch a game, they might have came for one person, but they leave liking many more.
I'm tired of carrying the weight by myself when it matters most, she said post-game, still drenched in sweat and frustration. People better stop acting like we're only relevant when Caitlin's on the floor. The room fell silent. Because this wasn't just a post-game soundbite, it was a shot across the bow, and the target wasn't just Dallas. It wasn't even her teammates. It was the entire league. Aliyah Boston, the former number 1 pick, the national champion, the one-time face of the Fever, was making it clear. She wasn't going to keep playing in the shadows while everyone acted like Indiana was a one-woman show. And on this night, when Caitlin Clark was out with an ankle tweak and the lights weren't as bright,
yeah, I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs. And they made their run that third quarter. And honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on. And so for us, that was our focus, is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
I mean, when you're playing against great players, you're not going to stop them, right? You just have to try to make life as difficult as possible and make them beat you with tough ones. It's try to make everything as difficult as possible. Let her see multiple bodies, different kinds of matchups, just make her really work for everything that she's going to get.
Aliyah reminded everyone why she was still the anchor of this franchise. From the opening tip, the game felt off. Indiana came out flat, the offense looked scrambled, and the Wings were aggressive early. Without Clark running point, the Fever struggled to create spacing. Their movement was stiff, their rhythm was gone. Dallas exploited it fast. Arike Ogunbowale wasted no time attacking the paint, and Te'era McCowan muscled her way into early buckets. It didn't help that Indiana's perimeter defense was shaky, allowing too many open looks from 3. The Fever were down by 12 halfway through the second quarter, and that's when Aliyah Boston snapped. Not emotionally, but physically, with a fire that had been simmering for weeks beneath the surface. She started crashing the glass with rage. She fought through double teams in the post. She ran the floor like she had something to prove. Because she did. In a league that's been obsessed with Caitlin Clark's every move, from her passes to her ponytail, Boston's elite two-way game has flown under the radar, too often ignored, too often framed as the other star. But tonight, there was no Clark safety net, no highlight reel threes to bail Indiana out. It was Boston's game to take, and she took it personally. Midway through the third, after a missed rotation led to yet another Wings bucket, Boston clapped her hands in frustration and barked at her teammates, "Wake up! We're not getting out of here with talent. We gotta want it." That's when everything shifted. She blocked a driving layup, snatched the rebound, pushed the ball herself, and found Kelsey Mitchell in transition for a corner 3 that finally gave Indiana life. Next possession, she posted up McCowan, spun baseline, and finished through contact. Timeout Dallas. And for the first time all night, you could feel it. Aliyah Boston was taking over. She finished the night with 23 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks, and one furious post-game interview that lit up every highlight show in the country. And here's the part people didn't hear. When asked what the biggest challenge was playing without Caitlin, Boston paused. then said, "It's not just tonight, it's every game. We've got talent, but we have to stop waiting for Caitlin to save us. That's not how you build a team." Boom! The message was clear. If Indiana wants to be more than a Caitlin Clark media vehicle, they need to show it when she's not on the court. That includes the coaching staff, the bench, the role players, everyone. And Boston's frustration wasn't just about one tough game. It's been building. Because every time Indiana wins, the headlines read, "Clark's leadership lifts fever." And every time they lose, Clark needs more help. Boston's name rarely comes up, even when she drops double-doubles, even when she anchors the defense, even when she carries the load in the paint. She's been polite about it for months, supportive even, but this time, she let it breathe. And honestly, she earned it. Let's talk facts. Aliyah Boston was the #1 pick in 2023 for a reason. She's a generational post player with elite footwork, court vision, and defensive IQ. She was the WNBA Rookie of the Year last season, and she's still just 22 years old. This isn't some forgotten veteran. This is the foundation Indiana was building on before Caitlin arrived. And she's not jealous of Clark. She respects her, but she's also not going to shrink for anyone. Not anymore. This Dallas game proved what Boston can do when given the keys. When she gets consistent touches, when the offense runs through her. She dominated in the post, drew fouls, collapsed the defense, and opened up opportunities for the guards. That's how Indiana clawed back into the game. Not with logo threes, but with bruising post play, second chance points, and grit. And that came from Aliyah. After the game, the locker room was quiet. The win felt empty. The fever had escaped, but not convincingly. Boston sat with a towel over her shoulders, staring at the stat sheet. She wasn't celebrating. She was thinking, because she knows something that few others are saying out loud. This team has a ceiling, and unless the culture shifts, unless they stop leaning on one player to do everything, it won't rise. Caitlin Clark is a superstar, no question, but the Fever will never be a contender unless they become more than just her team. And that means elevating Boston, empowering her, giving her the same platform and the same trust. She's not the sidekick, she's the co-lead. And when Clark isn't playing, Boston becomes the engine. Social media exploded after the game. Clips of Aliyah's post-game quotes went viral. Fans debated her tone, her honesty, her message. Some called it leadership, others called it shade. But one thing everyone agreed on? She made people pay attention, because for months, the WNBA conversation has revolved around Caitlin Clark versus the world. Conflict, ratings, fights, fouls, narratives. Aliyah Boston reminded us that real leadership doesn't always shout. Sometimes it erupts. And when it does, people listen. Don't be surprised if this moment marks a shift, because the Fever are learning something uncomfortable. When Caitlin's not on the court, they struggle. And unless they fully unlock Boston's potential, they'll keep struggling. She's not asking to be the face of the league. She's asking for balance, for recognition, for respect. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Indiana needed to hear. Because if Aliyah Boston's fire can wake this team up, they might finally become the squad they're supposed to be. One built not just on hype, but on hard-nosed defense, selfless play, and two legit stars who know how to win together. When the lights fade and the cameras move on, the Fever will review the film and see what went wrong. But Boston already knows. They waited too long to fight, too long to focus. Too long to believe in the players who've been there all along. And next time Caitlin Clark isn't available, Aliyah Boston won't just hold things down, she'll take over. Again. Whether the world's watching or not,